Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another tabletop review here at Gideon's Tactical. We are looking at the K-Bar Bulldozer today, fixed blade. This thing is pretty impressive, and I'm very surprised at the quality and what you can do with this particular knife. I would say this knife is definitely a jack of all trades. I don't know if it's a master necessarily of any, but this can be put into multiple roles without too much difficulty. Give you some quick specs here. We're going to jump right into it. 6.5-inch blade made out of AUS 8A steel. Rockwell hardness 57 to 59. Hollow grind ground in at 20 degrees even, 20 degrees. We have blade thickness of 0.19, so just over 3/16 of an inch thick, as thick as point right here, and that tapers. Let's see here. You got a full length of 12 1/8 inches. Zytel handle with Kraton inserts, full tang, and you got, this is the wrong sheath. You got, there we go. Looks so similar. You got Kydex type of sheath, molded plastic that we'll look at as well. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. 6.5-inch blade, very good for a lot of tasks. You're going to get, a lot of tasks done with that particular size. Great for both tactical and for wilderness use in that size. And this blade is just really well designed. Razor sharp out of the box. That AUS 8 steel is going to do really well. It is made in Taiwan. For some of you, you're not going to like that. It is made in Taiwan, stamped on it right there. That AUS 8 steel, though, is the same quality as their 1095 Covan. It's got the same Rockwell hardness. And regardless of what people say, a good quality AUS 8 is right around the same quality in edge retention and resistance of humidity and rust as 1095. They're very similar steels as long as the AUS 8 is done well and the 1095 is done well. So the hollow grind is going to slice really well. You got a really good piercing tip with a really good belly. I really like that with this kind of aggressive, almost sweep up, sweep down, I'm going to say drop point kind of design. Very thin tip. Very strong though, because it's reinforced through the center here. So the center tip is still that 0.19 inches thick. So basically 3/16 inch thick. So it's very thick all the way through, but it's just because they tapered it up here and tapered it down in here, you're going to get a really good piercing blade. This thing is going to stab extremely well, and that's, I believe, how they're trying to pitch this to you, is as a fully tactical blade to kind of compete with their utility, K-bar that the Marines use, the Marine K-bar. So that's how they're kind of pitching it to you. It's heavy. This thing weighs, on the K-bar website, they're telling me 1 pound 1.2 pounds is what they say. So over a pound for this particular blade, and I believe it because I know that the BK7 is 12 ounces, and this is definitely heavier than the BK7. So this is definitely a heavy blade, but it feels comfortable in your hand. You can wield it well. It doesn't feel cumbersome like some other blades that I've felt. It is handle heavy. The centering point is right about there, right in the center of that finger choil, basically. Let's see if I can get it here. It's about right there in the center of that finger choil is where the weight distribution is. So it's a little bit handle heavy, but that just makes it for easy wielding, and is going to be a great hacker as well. You can hack off branches, of tree limbs and different things like that really easily. So the blade design is great for tactical and great for hacking. The only problem I see is because it's so tapered right here, that it really is going to be difficult to baton with, because not that it's going to break the blade or anything, but because it's so thin, when your batoning stick is hitting this edge up here, because it's so thin, it's going to chew up your batoning stick really quick, and you're probably going to have to go through quite a few more batoning sticks than you would with, say, a BK7 or some other knives out there on the market, a Rat 7, an SE6. Like those type of knives are going to be able to keep your batoning stick lasting longer before you have to rotate and get a different stick. So that's the only really complaint I have is with that swedge, but they're trying to pitch it to you as a tactical blade, and that definitely helps with the piercing aspect of it, that thin swedge right there. Going on to ergonomics and how it feels in my hand, the ergonomics are amazing actually. I was really surprised. I didn't know how I would feel about this finger guard and this thumb ramp. This is one of the better feeling thumb ramps. It just feels contours perfectly to my thumb. I love that. They did it in an attempt at jimping, but the Zytel spacer, so the Zytel scale is scales are the same height as that jimping, so it doesn't really do anything for you. Very minimal texturing. I don't really care for that. I would have wished that they had brought down the Zytel just a little bit, but contours my finger very well, and this finger choil down here. So if I'm penetrating and trying to stab, it feels just very comfortable. I'm not going to ride up on the blade accidentally, and much better in my opinion than say some other hilts and finger guards on the market. Definitely better and more comfortable than say the normal 7-inch Marine K-bar. And what's nice about it is I can even do some whittling and detail work with my thumb on this thumb ramp because of how this blade is designed. It's so close, the edge comes so close to my thumb that I can control my blade. And if I have to, I can hop over this hilt, and they gave me enough space right there that I can rest my thumb perfectly and then do my detailed carving, preparing, feather sticks or something like that. If I had to, I could definitely do that without too much problem, and I like that it's pretty small on this thumb ramp here, and it's not digging into my thumb and I have to do something really awkward and weird to get more control over my knife. So feels ergonomically really well. I wear large size gloves, feels very comfortable in my hand. I really like it. Just feels really good. Not too much of a palm swell there, but what's awesome, and I've had a couple knives now that have Zytel and Kraton combined, which is what we have here. Zytel out spacers with Kraton inserts, and that feels just so comfortable because it gives you the durability of the Zytel, but it gives you the comfort and texture of the Kraton. So it's kind of a best of both worlds, and it's going to last a lot longer than say just a purely, like on this SRK, purely Kraton handle. This is going to definitely last a lot longer, and still going to give me really good texturing and grip. So regardless if it's reverse grip or normal standard grip, it feels really good in my hand. So those are really awesome. Very thick, full tang all the way through. Nice big lanyard hole for paracord. These do have little nut drivers in there, so you can remove these scales if you wanted to and replace them with something else or something like that. So that's the blade itself. Going on to the sheath here. This is, a form of plastic molding, multiple different options with paracord holes and MOLLE attachments, so all over the place. It does come with this nice, strong nylon belt loop with the handle retention strap here with a nice button rotate flap. Very nicely designed. It's going to ride on your belt very nicely. No problems there. Inserts in, clicks in with authority. Very slight rattle in this particular blade, but it's definitely not coming out. Very stiff at this point in time. It's got a nice thumb ramp here, though, to pull. This is my only problem, though. For tactical use, for wilderness, who cares? But for tactical, you can see here that the whole front finger choil and guard are inside this particular model of sheath. So the problem is that when I have to go, if I'm carrying this as a tactical blade and I'm in a fight and I need to pull this blade out extremely quickly, the problem is that you can see where my hand is right here. If I pull this out and it is very stiff at the moment, my hand is like this. This is how my hand sits when I pull it out if I'm jerking it off my LBE or something like that. And then I have to do a hand move to get into the right position to fight. So that's my only complaint that I have with it on a tactical end. Wilderness, it doesn't matter at all. But for tactical use, you are going to have to do basically a double hand move to get into a position to get ready to fight and use this to wield and save your life. So that's my only complaint with the sheath. Other than that, very typical, very similar to the Cold Steel SRK version of Secure X, type of sheath. Very similar in design and quality. Good quality, just a little bit lacking with follow through for the tactical use. So how do I feel about this particular blade? Again, like I said, master, I don't know about that. Jack of all trades for sure. Would this make a good wilderness blade? Absolutely. You're going to do a lot of work with this. It's going to hack better than a BK7, and I love a BK7. I have this BK7 I take out with the woods with me sometimes, and it does a great job. This Dozier up here, this K-bar bulldozer, is going to do better at hacking because of the weight. The weight is much better for hacking, and that just coming down, it's going to clear branches easier with less hacks than this BK7. Now, the hollow grind isn't necessarily the best for wilderness use, where this flat grind that the BK7 uses is a little bit better, and the BK's tip is just not as aggressive as the Dozier for batoning. So if you're looking for kind of a wilderness blade, it just depends. If you're not really batoning and you just want to have a good big knife to hack and whittle and cut, then sure, the Dozier's probably going to maybe be a little bit better than that BK7. But if you need to do some batoning and some other wilderness tasks, I'd probably say the BK7 is a little bit better. Now for the tactical aspect. Tactically, is that a good blade? I don't know. I'm not a soldier, never have been. Would I want to take that into a fight versus, say, the Cold Steel SRK? Both very similar in size, very similar in design. It's heavier than the SRK. You do get a slightly better reach. I would say that the K-bar is probably a little bit thicker and stronger. But it's going to be less easy to wield, and the sheath is a little bit better designed for pulling out in a very quick situation. The SRKs is versus the K-bars. So in a tactical situation, I'm not sure. My personal opinion, I'm going to probably go with the SRK. So is the Dozier bad for taking overseas and defending your life with? Not at all. I think it's going to do a great job, but there are better knives out there. So what I will say is the K-bar bulldozer is, again, like I said, jack of all trades, master of none. It doesn't blow any of the competition out of the water, but it is a great option if you can get it at a great price. You know, all three of these knives are very similar in price. If you go online or go to the store, you're going to see all of these are right around within $10 of each other. All three of these knives. So it really just depends on what you want and what you think you're going to like. And maybe for you, you're going to grab the Dozier and go, yeah, this is awesome. Maybe you're going to hold it and go, this is dumb and I hate it. So you just got to really decide what you're going to use this K-bar bulldozer for, and decide what would be better: a more tactical fighting knife, a more wilderness use, or maybe you need both. You're like, yeah, I need something that's going to be able to clear wood better and going to be able to fight. This is going to be like the best of both of these worlds, but you have to decide what you're really using your knife for. So hopefully this helps you out. Again, this is the K-bar bulldozer. I'm going to say it's a total 50-50, hat thrown up in the air. You got to decide what you need. The K-bar bulldozer may or may not fit the bill. So thanks for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.